Tom Brevoort hasn't said something controversial this week. Now, this is the X-Men editor for the current line of X-Men From the Ashes, and he's really stepped his foot in a lot of poo in the last year or so since he's announced this line. This From the Ashes line got announced on his X. He actually posted it first there, and some people started questioning him. And so once that happened, this is where Tom Brevoort started spiraling in a circle. And he got attacked. He got attacked pretty quickly by fans saying, "Man, I really hope you guys don't put the identity politics into this." And he said, "The message is the premise." And they started blocking anybody who said, "Oh gosh, they're going to put the heavy-handed politics into this crap." And then called people alt-right, called them cretins who are fans of X-Men who don't want to deal with this extreme leftist politics over and over again. Well, he was right. He put it into it. And he put, of course, embattled writer Gail Simone as the Uncanny X-Men head. Which is the flagship of the line right there. She's made Nightcrawler into a furry real quick. It hasn't been that bad on her level. Now, they don't have much of a B roster. And Jed MacKay did the second book, which regular X-Men, which was so boring, just nobody cared. They put Eve Ewing, a race grifter, who made Kitty Pryde into just this like lesbian romance book that's like really slow-paced. And for exceptional X-Men, absolute disaster. NYX was the next with Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, the worst writers at Marvel Comics. And, of course, they made big identity politics, anti-Trump rants out of the book, got canceled. X Factor got canceled. What was the third book that got canceled? There was a third one also. Now, three of the line, and they all relaunched at the same time, have been canceled within 1 year, and things are not going very, very well. Now, Tom Brevoort, over the last several months, has also stepped in it further by just commenting about Spider-Man fans, saying that, like, no, we're never going to bring Mary Jane and Peter Parker back together. We like this young Peter Parker, and screw you. And he's taken these hostile tones towards fans, actually saying that the fans who want that kind of thing are just a couple of yahoos who harass Marvel comic editors. And it's like, okay, well, it's not just a couple of yahoos, it's everybody, very clearly from the way that Ultimate Spider-Man is selling, which it's sold based on that premise. That's why people liked it. Or Spider-Man Renew Your Vows was something that everybody loved because of that same premise. Spider-Girl before that was something everybody loved because of that premise. And so, obviously they're not giving the fans what they want. And they're just being insufferable about it. Now, Tom Brevoort is... like I said, just came out with another Substack newsletter. He does one every single week. And then, of course, there's usually something to mine there to talk about this kind of thing. And this one, Bleeding Cool actually wrote an article. You can see Bleeding Cool won't run an article about him because he quipped that, how many times Bleeding Cool runs articles about him and then didn't say anything controversial this time. And so this is like the first time ever. And it might be he's on the hot seat because I've got some information from my insiders at Marvel saying that things are going very disastrous from the line, which we're going to get into in just a moment. So please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us as we talk about all things in comic books, my friends. And I'm a comic book writer myself. I'm blacklisted from the mainstream industry. I actually had DC Comics pros report me, get me banned from Kickstarter last year. So I've been having to release things on my own differently. And this is the level they don't want to compete, and they're very scared to compete. I actually have a bigger readership than AIPT, bigger readership than Comics Beat. I have a nice size viewership here, thanks to you guys. And so we are the future of comic books, and I'm making changes. If your boy Zach in 2017 actually had a plan like for the culture war and was actually working on it and producing and working on stuff, this is exactly what it was. And so you've found the right spot now. Join the newsletter. We've got 9 graphic novels in development right now. I don't actually crowdfund them until they're done. I wait till they're done. You'll stay in touch with me. You never know what's going to happen with the algorithm or stuff, so I want you here. Get on here, guys. 3 free books, all for signing up. It's a $50 value. You get to start on my Flying Sparks. And if you want to support me and support the channel, I have a web store also, which is you can click on here where it says store or in the description below. And I've got all of my books on here that you can just get and start reading. Overmind and Days Volt are great places to start. If you're on my newsletter and you've read Flying Sparks Volume 1, it continues with Volume 2 through 5 right here, and it builds so nicely. I actually planned it all from the beginning. I did it really wonderfully. It pays off. People who have read the whole series go, wow. I had a Hugo Award finalist from back in the day actually say it's the best superhero series of the last decade. So if you enjoy that, go check it out, guys. Thank you so much for being here. So yes, Tom Brevoort. Like I said, he's a piece of work on his Substack here. and he doesn't have much. Bleeding Cool scoop because of his contents, and I guess he's being passive-aggressive about the news sites on here, but he doesn't have much going on. He did have a unused Spider-Girl cover, I guess, which I liked Spider-Girl. That was one of my favorite comic books back in the day that he doesn't talk about here. He answers some questions from a bunch of readers, and that's pretty much what he does with his blog. Now, how many people does he actually have signed up here? Does it say? It's got about 7.3K subscribers. So Fandom Pulse, my Substack, is actually almost a little over half of what Tom Brevoort has as the guy who runs X-Men. Kind of crazy. Sign up here, too. Make sure you don't miss that, too, because we report the news here. So interesting stuff. And that's where Tom Brevoort's at. So what I hear from my insider, this is where it gets crazy, is that X-Men's not selling, that it's doing terribly, and that they blame Tom Brevoort for that, and that his vision is not working out very well whatsoever. Now, we've known that there's 3 canceled books, but apparently even the top of the line is not doing very well. And so that drags everything down with it. You sell Uncanny X-Men, and then the rest, it kind of pulls up the rest. Now, they're doing a crossover event right now to try to gin up sales, and apparently that crossover event has been a dud. It's not working, and they are scrambling at the Marvel offices. Now, apparently, Tom Brevoort is very hard to work with. People don't like him within the industry as well. And so it's been very, very hard to try to even get talent onto the X books that's actually a decent talent at this juncture. Now, I'm told that this is selling worse than Jordan White's tenure. Jordan White was the person who was the editor on the Krakoa era, where that was one of the biggest disasters of all Marvel Comics. Jonathan Hickman set up this interesting thing that just didn't quite pan out. He dropped it, he left, and then had all these subpar writers working for a while, and apparently it's selling even worse than that even after the relaunch, and we're only 1 year into this. So that's not very good. This did not last. The people we brought on did not generate any buzz for the X-Men line, and the entire Marvel line's really suffering because of this. Now, not only this, the talent doesn't want to work there. They don't want to work for Brevoort. They don't like what he's doing. They're not interested in coming at him and actually working under him, from what I understand. The retailers are also pissed because, of course, the X-Men line not doing well is pretty bad, and they also blame Brevoort for this as from what I'm hearing from inside a retailer network. So this is what I'm hearing all the way on Marvel, that things are not going well with the X line. It's bad stuff. That they're really looking for answers at this point, and there don't seem to be any coming soon. Now, they're embroiled in this event for a while, and I don't know what's coming after that. Maybe they're going to do another relaunch with all new number ones again. They're toying with that idea. They might even use the same creative teams because they can't get other talent at this point and do that. But there's only so many times you can go to that well. I mean, they're already doing Amazing Spider-Man #1 coming out this week again. Which is like, what are you doing? And they're making Peter Young again, which is what Tom Brevoort wants, but the readers don't want. So how many times do you just go to the same well over and over again, doing the same thing, hoping it's going to work when it doesn't? This is what the entire comic book industry does. They blacklist anybody who has a different opinion, who actually speaks out about this stuff. People are very, very scared. It's a culture of fear inside the industry. They're afraid of calling any of this stuff out because they're afraid that they won't get jobs at all. And Tom Brevoort makes sure he exercises that stuff, from what I hear as well. So crazy stuff. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think, my friends. Hit the like and subscribe button. Failure of the X-Men line, not good. And please sign up for my newsletter in the description below. Grab some books. Enjoy the alternative. This is the spot to be. If you like what classic Marvel Comics used to be, I'm glad you're here, my friends. We'll bring the news back in a bit, and we'll see you soon.